Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham karishyami siddhir me sada yena akshara samamnayam adhigamya maheshwarat kritsnam vyakaranam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha Vakyakaram Vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagartha Viva Sampriktau Vagarthaf Pratipattaye Jagataf Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwarao Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Welcome everyone. Feels like it's been a long time since we've had class. Sorry about last week. There was something I had to attend to. But we are talking about, so let me just back up a little bit. So we're talking about Panchavritti, right? So we're in this new book, book 3, Panchavritti, these 5 types of derived words, right? And so there's these derived words that either come from a dhatu, right? A new dhatu or a new pratipadika, essentially, right? We're talking about the vyutpanna, the derived versions of dhatu, and the derived versions, the vyutpanna pratipadika. Because we want to make new words. We don't want to make new words. Words are made in scripture, in Sanskrit language, and we want to be able to understand them. So we're looking at these derived words because the language is made up of these types of words, right? Most of the Gita, right, is not just basic pratipadika and verbs. It's usually derived. So the first one we saw, right, Sanadhyanta Dhatu Vrittihi. We're going to talk a lot more about that today. Hopefully we'll get there. But it's the new root, which is made from a dhatu or subantam. Okay, so dhatu or subantam plus this sanadi pratyaya makes a new dhatu. Okay, so this is the only way to make a new dhatu is by adding this sanadi pratyaya. Okay. And then we talked about Krit Vritti last time. Krit Vritti is we're making a new pratipadika, which is called a kridantam. And we're making that by adding a dhatu plus a krit pratyaya. Okay. So it's a new nominal base, a new pratipadika derived from a dhatu. We have this dhatu, we add the krit pratyaya, and we make this new pratipadika called kridanta. Okay, so far we saw sanadi, sanadhyanta, dhatu vritti, which is a new dhatu. Here we have a krit vritti, which is new pratipadika made by adding a dhatu and a krit pratyaya. Okay. Then tadhita vritti. right? Taddita vrittihi. So this is a new nominal base, right? A new pratipadikam, which is derived from another pratipadika. So a pratipadikam plus the taddita vrittihi equals a new pratipadikam called tadditanta or tadditantam. Okay. So far, what did we see? We saw sanadhyanta dhatu. We saw krit vritti. We call kridanta. Here we call taddita vritti. And this is making a new pratipadika, right? So only the first one is making a new dhatu. All the rest are making a new pratipadika. Then we started to see, so this is where we'll pick up, is Samāsa vritti. We're making a new pratipadika by compounding, by adding different subantams together. Okay, so we have a subantam plus a subantam, and we get a new pratipadika called Samāsa vritti. So I remember the last time we were talking about, there was a question about is a samasa called the pratipadika? So yes, the samasa is the pratipadika. Okay, so for example, if I have so you see this Vedanta, right? We're making the word Vedanta. Okay, so I Veda. So Vedanam antaha iti Vedantaha. The end, antaha, Vedanam, of the Veda, is called Vedanta. Sorry, it's called Vedanta. So what we do is we add, so you have these subanta, okay? And you have another subanta. What happens is when you make this compound, these both go away. The pratyayas go away. Okay, so it just becomes Vedanta. Okay, now that's the new pratipadika. Okay, that's what we call a Samāsa vritti. Then we can decline that word. For example, we can add just. We have to add just again, okay? We have to re-add just to make Vedantaha. So is Vedantaha a Samāsa vritti? So technically just the pratipadika is called a Samāsa vritti. But when we make the word Vedantaha, how do we call it, right? It's a new subantam, but you want to, so teachers will still call this a Samāsa. We can make a distinction between maybe a Samāsa pada. Samāsa pada, I'm using the word pada, meaning a word that has this pratyaya added to it, the supratyaya added to it. So we can call Samāsa pada, or we can just say this, the Samāsa vritti, or the Samāsa pratipadika, okay? But technically, the pratipadika alone is called the samasa. But once you decline it, you still want to indicate came from a samasa. So sometimes they'll still call it a samasa. So that's, yeah. I hope it's not very clear, but that's the best that I can do. Oops, sorry. Okay. We were seeing that there's, so I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Yeah, we call it a Samāsa pratipadika. That's fine also. What I wanted to say is that generally this compound word, a samasa, a compound word is called a samasa, is made with two nouns at a time, right? So we call the first one Purvapada and the second one Uttarapada. Okay, Purva means previous one, Uttara means later one. This is page 11 if you have the printed book. There's 4 types of samasa based on which of the words is pradhana, predominant. Okay, we saw these 2 a few weeks ago. That type A is when we emphasize the first word. This we don't see very commonly, so we're not going to spend much time yet. Okay, when we get to samasa, we'll spend more time with it, but it's not as important for our brain space right now. What is important is tatpurusha samasa. We see these a lot. Or type T. Type T is where the uttarapada is the predominant word. Okay, so uttarapada artha, the meaning of the last word is pradhana, predominant. So here we have some word, vatasya moolam, vatamulam. So you can see so what word is predominant, you won't know necessarily, right? But the intention of the speaker will emphasize one of the words. So now when you're looking at this word vatamulam, this last part is the pradhana. The moolam is the pradhana. Neelam, utpalam, Nilotpalam. Blue lotus, and you put it together, it makes blue lotus. Okay. Vedanam antaha iti vedantaha. That's a tatpurusha samasa, right? Where the first word is declined, right? Vedanam. It's in a different case other than first case. Antaha, that's also, but it's in first case. In that way, you can know that that's also tatpurusha. But that's a shashti is tatpurusha samasa. The first word is in the 6th case. So vedanam antaha iti vedantaha. That's another type. Okay. Now we can take a deep breath. Let's slow it down even more. I'm going super speed trying to catch us up. This third one is called bahuvrihi samasaha. Okay, you can repeat after me. Bahuvrihi. Bahuvrihi. Okay, so this is long. The first is long. So bahuvrihi. Bahuvri. I'm doing it, emphasizing a bit more, but bahuvrihi. Okay, bahuvrihi samasaha. This is what we call type B, right? We saw type T, now we're seeing type B. This has, the type B is the meaning of a different word. Anyapada, a word other than the 2, has pradhana, has predominance. Okay, what do we mean by other 2? So we saw pitam, meaning yellow, ambaram, clothes, Ekaśeṣa. Okay, so if I say pitambaraha, okay, the word pitambaraha is the one for whom the clothes are yellow. One for whom the clothes are yellow. Now, if I say the word pitambara, is this referring to pita? Yellow? Am I talking about the clothes? Ambara? No, I'm talking about Vishnu, a whole different person whose clothes are yellow. So that means it'll take the gender of this Anyapada. Both of these words are neuter gender, but you see a Pitambaraha is masculine because Vishnu. It's referring to Vishnu. It'll get the vachanam and the gender of whatever it's referring to. Okay, so I don't know if this works, but if the Purva Pada is Pradhana, it's called type A, right? Type A. If Uttara Pada is Pradhana, type T. If Anya Pada is Pradhana, another word is the predominant, type B. Okay? So this one, Uttara Pada will be, you have to say it with your mouth so I can see your mouth moving, huh? Type T, okay. Uttara Pada is type D. The Purva Pada, type A. Another word, that's type B, right? Okay, type A, type T, type B. Yeah. Yeah, Nila Kantha, that refers to Shiva, exactly. So Nila Kantha, we can make a one Samāsa. This is referring to Vishnu. So it would be Nilam Kantaha Yasya Saha. One for whom the neck is blue or dark. Some other examples. Mahanto Bahu. Oh, the Vachanam doesn't have to match. Let me see. Yeah, Vachanam doesn't. No, the Vachanam does match. Yeah, sorry, never mind. But Mahanto Bahu Yasya Saha Mahabahu. Okay, so this is Saha, the one, Yasya, for whom Bahu, the two arms, this is dual, or Mahanto, strong. The one for who the arms are strong. Now, this doesn't refer to arms. We're not talking about the strongness. We're talking about Arjuna. Okay, so it doesn't matter what the gender of these two words, it's going to match Arjuna. Oh, this is a funny one. Viditaha Atma Yena Saha Viditatma. Do we know someone named Viditatma? Yeah, you might know someone named Viditatma. The one by whom Yena Atma, the self, Viditaha, is known. The one by whom the self is known is called Viditatma. It refers to a person. So it's not talking about Atma. It's not talking about the Viditaha, the knowing. It's talking about a person who knows the self. Okay. So here, those are some other examples. Okay, so more details we'll find out later, but any questions here right now? So this is called the appetizer round. Okay, this is the papada. Okay, you get a little bit of snack, and then we're gonna have the full meal later on. But this is, we have to start building some impressions. You want to see the grammar example? Okay. This grammar example. Viraha Purushaha Yasmin Saha Vira Purushaha. Okay, so the final word is Vira Purushaha. Okay. The one, Yasmin. in whom Purushaha, people, Viraha, are brave, we can say even. Viraha, brave. So the place in whom there are brave people. That refers not to a person, it doesn't refer to bravery, it refers to the village, grama, the town. The one in which Vira Purusha are. Yeah, so Vira and Purusha are, they're adjectives to each other. That's correct. It's not adjective, it's substantive predicate. No, you can say adjectives too. The brave people are in which, that thing in which they are is called Vira Purusha, but refers to the grama, the village. Okay, Harprasadji, you have a question?
Yes, Mahodaya. I'm completely confused here. Now,
Okay.
Now you gave all these examples. Is this examples is for what now? Bahurbihi Samāsa?
Yes, this is for Bahuvrihi Samasa, where
Okay.
the meaning of the Anya Pada is Pradana.
Okay. Now, for example, when you say Pitam Ambaram, okay,
Yes.
these two are two Pratipadikas.
Correct.
And Pitam Ambaram, and you are going to add Esya, Saha, and that becomes Pitambaraha. That I understand, and that is equal to Vishnu, I understand. But here, what is the Anya Pada which is predominant?
So the Anya Pada is Vishnu, right? So we're not referring to Pitam, right? Yellow.
Oh, okay.
We're not referring to Ambaram, the clothes, but we're actually referring to Vishnu, who has yellow clothes.
Oh, okay. So these two words, Pitam and Ambaram, it kind of a result in a new word.
Correct. Yeah, they make a new word. So the whole new word is Pitambaraha, but it's not like a Tatpurusha where it means like the yellow of clothes or something like that. The clothes aren't the main thing here. It's talking about Vishnu, whose clothes are yellow.
Okay, all right. Now, this example you took, where is it? All this Viraha, Purushaha and all that?
These ones here?
Yeah.
These are when we get to, so later in the book, there's a whole Samāsa section.
I see.
If you go to Bahuvrihi section, there's a homework where you look at these examples.
I see. So, for example, Mahanto Bahu, Ekaśeṣa Mahabahu. What? So, the result of all this is equal to Arjuna.
Yeah, so the result of Mahanto Bahu is just Mahabahu, right? But it's referring to Arjuna. So the Samāsa is Mahabahu, right? But this word is referring to Arjuna.
Okay.
So it's not referring to the first word, the second word, but it's actually referring to something else. And so the gender, usually the number as well, goes along with that Anya Pada.
Okay, so Mahabahu, the gender, and is a gender and vachana of what?
Of Mahabahu will match Arjuna. So you notice how Mahanto is dual, Bahu is dual, and they may be neuter, I'm not even sure. But it doesn't matter what it is because it'll take the gender and the number of the word that it's qualifying.
Okay. All right.
Or the word that it's connected to, the pradhan.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Dhanyavadaha, Mahodaya.
Agre sputi bhavishyati. It will become clear later when we do this. More clear later. I'm sure it's a little clear now. You'll say, Shivam, you keep saying agre, and agre never comes. Yeah, that's the problem with Sanskrit. That's that's also when we have 30-minute classes, it's hard. Okay. Ekaśeṣa vrittihi. Let's go through this, okay? Number 5. Ekaśeṣa vrittihi. Repeat after me. Ekaśeṣa vrittihi. Ekaśeṣa vrittihi. Okay, what the first one we saw? Sanadhyanta dhatu vrittihi. The second one we saw? Kridantam kritvritti. The third one we saw, I forgot also actually. Samāsa was the fourth one. What was the third one? Oh, taddita. Yeah. So this is taddita, and then Samāsa vritti, and then Ekaśeṣa vritti. Okay. Ekaśeṣa vritti. This is a bit odd. We don't see this very much. So even when we do the full meal later on, it's only one page. Okay. So this is basically it. This is not so deep. We're making a new pratipadika. It's questionable whether you're making a new pratipadika, but a new pratipadika, which is derived by keeping one word out of many. Okay, let's see this. Okay, eka means one. Okay, shesha means the whatever is left over, the remaining balance. Ekaśeṣa together means the remaining or balance of one word. Remaining of one word. Okay. So when two or more pratipadikas are present together in the same sentence, only one remains. Okay. There's only one remaining. So a better translation is the remaining one. Ekaśeṣa is remaining one. This is called Ekaśeṣa, the one which remains. And this one which remains represents all the other pratipadika. Okay. One simple example. If I say, there's one, I have a brother named Rama and I have a cousin named Rama. Okay. Ramascha. I can say Rama and Rama, or I can say Ramo. Okay. A different example is this one down here. Mata cha, pita cha. Okay, if I say mother, mata, and pita, father, instead of saying both of those, I can actually keep, and of course, because just gender bias, you keep the masculine one, pitaro. So I can just say pitaro, and it will stand for mata and pita. So you keep one out of many. This is Ekaśeṣa. And it stands for all the other words that you left behind. You can also say, use a Samāsa called mata pitaro. You can make a Samāsa. Or you can say pitaro. Okay, which is called Ekaśeṣa, where you're keeping only one word. Okay, so some examples, as we just saw. So when there are two or more pratipadikas, which are in the same form. Okay, so they're the same form. Meaning they're the same, they look the same, they're twins. And they're in the same case. Okay, same words in the same case, only one pratipadika remains. Okay, so you can choose to just use one of them. So for example, as we saw, when there are two Ramas, which are to be used in the same case ending, okay, so they're the same form and they're the same case, only one of this Rama form remains. Now, how do you know there's two of them? So the duality, the sense of two, is expressed by dual vachana, right? The dual number of the suffix when it's declined. Okay. So I can also say, yeah, this is she's going to say what I was about to say, but in the same manner, right? If there's any number of pratipadikas, okay, it can be, you can say 100 Ramas, and they have the same form in the same vibhakti, used in the same sentence. You can keep just one using this Ekaśeṣa rule. And how do you know there's 100 Ramas? Because you'll use the plural, right? Ramaha. Okay, so if I have a sentence and I'm referring to 100 Ramas, you'll just say Ramaha. Right? Instead of saying Ramascha, 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 Ramascha. If they don't have to be the same vachana, so they have to be the same case, but you have to add up the sum total. So if you use one singular and one dual, then you're going to have plural, right? So in that way. Okay, now this isn't very interesting because you might as well use plural. This is not any different than using plural, Ekaśeṣa so far, right? Here is where it becomes a little helpful to know this. So when there are pratipadika, which indicate male and female members of a class, right? Of a species of thing or a class of things, only the masculine pratipadika remains. Yeah, gender biased, right? The patriarchy controlling the language. That's okay. For example, Hamsi is a female goose. What an example. Hamsi is a female goose and Hamsa is a male goose. Okay, they're both of the same species. When they use in the same sentence, only the masculine remains. So you can say Hamsi-cha, Hamsascha, but finally you just get Hamso. Hamso will be masculine dual. Okay, but doesn't mean that there's two masculine Hamsas. There could be a female Hamsi and a male Hamsa. Okay, quickly, because we're out of time, but same thing, another example of same species is brothers and sisters. Okay, if I have brata and swasa, I have a brother and a sister, I say brataro. I say brataro. You can say bratacha swasacha. You can use that, but if you're trying to cut out, Ekaśeṣa is one remaining out of many. You can just say brataro. And last example I'll give, I'm moving us along, but mother and father, right? Matacha, mother, and pitacha, pitaro. We see this in our prayer, right? Parvati Parameshwaro. But we say pitaro. Pitaro in that prayer refers to Parvati and Parameshwara, but we say fathers as though pitaro. Ekaśeṣa vritti, you choose. How about son and daughter? So you would use you would just use the son. Okay. Now there are specific rules, so you can't do this all the time. You can't do this all the time, but this does come up like this. Okay. All right. We'll end here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.